Hi, Sunday school friends. It's Miss Annika. I'm ready to do a craft with you. Now, I am sitting in my kitchen because this is a little bit of a messy craft. We're going to be making stained glass windows. So take out your window kit. I've already taken all of my things out because I like to lay it all out in front of me like this. What you're going to need is a little bowl of water. I've got a tiny little bit of water. You're going to need some glue from your craft kit and a paintbrush. Now, if you wanted to, don't have a paintbrush handy, you can use the paintbrush that's in with your angels. Yeah, you could use this one. I'm just going to use a big one because I'm a little bit too lazy to use that big or that tiny little one. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is cut off my head, and that's only because I want you to be able to see all of this that I'm doing. I'm going to open up my whole thing and put in some glue. You might not need as much as I just put in. It's better to make 2 concoctions than have a bunch left over that you throw away. Okay? Okay, you're just going to mix that in with your water. And now we have a mixture that's a thinned out glue. Okay? This is what we're going to paint on this glass. It's not really glass, it's plastic. But this is what we're going to paint on this part. And that's what's going to stick our tissues to. Okay? So we're just going to paint all over this with our gluey, watery glue. All over, all over. This makes it a whole lot easier to make the stained glass part. Okay? Now it's all painted. See why I like to use the big one? Okay, now also see how I put my package down here on the table? So that my brush can be here and not get it wet. Tango! Shh! Quiet! Mama's doing a project. Okay, now we're going to have all of our squares, and you can decide how you want to make your squares. They can overlap. They can go around in different, you can make them really strong, straight next to each other. You can overlap them. Some people even just flicker them down onto the stained glass. Oh, my doggie really, really wants to go outside. And I'm alone in the kitchen, and so she thinks if she just barks at me, she can get wherever she wants. But here's the thing, I only have one craft kit. Tango, come here, baby. Come here, baby girl. Okay, I'm just going to get all of these all around. Now, this would be a great time if you wanted to talk with somebody about your baptism. Yeah, that's what we're talking about this week is baptism. Oh, Miss Tango. Oh, Miss Tango. Do you need some attention, too? So baptism is the time when we are welcomed into God's family officially. Officially. Okay, I'm going to put this up on my thingy while we're chatting. Okay, I'm doing the same thing over and over again. I'm just putting these on the stained glass over and over and over again. Okay? So baptism is an important part in any Christian's life. Now, in the our church, in the Episcopal Church, we baptize babies. Some people, some grown-ups choose not to have their babies baptized right away, but instead let them decide for themselves when it's time to be baptized. It is totally up to your family how you guys want to deal with that. But baptism is a really, really special time when we welcome new members into God's family officially into the church. Okay, now at our church we have a baptismal font is what it's called in the shape of a shell, right? And so a shell at our church at St. Pat's is a symbol of baptism. Yeah? But there's also a lot of other symbols too. And I am going to share some with you as soon as I get this all opened, all these squares opened onto my glue. I just want to make it sure it's all covered, because that way, when the sun shines through it, it makes it look so, so pretty. And you can do it however you want. I don't even know if all the kits have the same color tissue paper in them. We could have some like super duper different stained glass kits, because there's different color tissue. And if you have other tissue at home, like if you want to make this match somebody's room, because this could make a really cool gift for a Christmas present. I'm just saying, it's so pretty. And even little ones can do this craft, and it looks awesome. Okay, I'm almost done here, because I'm going to show you a couple of things, a couple of symbols. Now, the way we lock all of these tissues onto this plastic is with another layer of our thinned out glue. So next, we're going to make sure all of our places are covered. Oh my. Here we go. Cover, 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 cover. All the spots. And then, oh, I need a little bit right there. See now? All covered. Okay, now I'm going to take my thinned out glue again and paint it all over the top. And this is going to lock them all in. Okay. Can you see it's making it all shiny and all around? Now you decide if you want to let it fold, because mine yours is going to want to fold. It looks super cool if it folds, and it looks super cool if it stays as a square. Either way. Or both. It's totally up to you. Okay, now as excuse me, is drying just a little bit. This is our book that is in our bookshelf today. It's called Water Come Down. I'm not going to read it to you now. Go click in our bookshelf and I'll read it to you then. Okay, where I don't have dogs barking in the background and coughing because I'll have taken my inhaler. But in the back are some symbols of baptism. Now, symbols mean things that help us remind us. Okay? Now, in this story, this baby is being baptized with a shell over the top. The shell is the scooper. So, this baby might decide to use a shell for its symbol of baptism too. But you might choose to use it because you might have been baptized at St. Patrick's inside that gigantic clamshell. So it's up to you. Here's another symbol of baptism, the sun. This is a glorious image of God's creating light and a reminder of Jesus, the Son of Righteousness. Clouds, another symbol of baptism. The presence of God is made evident in the lives of God's people and has often been pictured as a cloud. So if you are really feeling God's presence in your life these days, a cloud might be a very nice symbol to put in there. The rain, water coming down from heaven, a symbol of cleansing, just like baptism is, a symbol of life, just like baptism is, and of God's life-giving word, which is Jesus and the stories in our Bible. How about the rainbow? Yes, the rainbow is a reminder of God's faithful promise connected with water. The only way to make a rainbow is with water through rain, right? Or sunlight through rain is how a rainbow is created. Yeah. What about the wind? The wind is a picture of God's powerful, life-giving spirit. Yes, you could do the wind. And wheat, or seeds, or plants that spring up is the symbol of ground and seeds. The images for the child who needs God's life-giving water to blossom and grow. So those are some really cool symbols that you could use. Our kits came with a cross. Whoops, with a cross. But we aren't going to be using this cross. So you can put this aside for a different craft. We're going to be using the black paper that also came with your craft kit. okay? And you're going to need a pair of scissors, and I want you to cut out a symbol that you think is reminds you of baptism. So I'm going to cut out a shell. Okay, I'm just going to freehand it, which might not be a good idea, but I'm going to freehand it a shell because it's St. Patrick's. I think of baptism when I look at a shell. Black paper also looks really cool if you draw on it with white crayon or white colored pencil. Okay, there's my shell. Okay, kind of, sort of like a shell. I'm going to glue this onto, maybe I'll do double. Oh, I'm going to do double. I'm going to put that onto the wet, and then I'm also going to put a couple of drops of water, okay, with my extra paper that I have here. I'm going to make a couple of drops of water coming out of the shell. Ooh, that'll look kind of cool. But it's totally up to you what you want to do. Here's a tiny drop of water coming out of the shell. Maybe I'll do 3. You know why? 3 is kind of a magic number in the church. Actually, it's not kind of. It's totally a magic number in the church because of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And those are the words that our priests use when they baptize us. I baptize you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. So there's my 3 drips of water coming down. I'm going to paint over the tops of those 2 so they stay stuck. And also, while this is still wet, I'm going to take one of these frames and put it over the top. Now, I hope you didn't go far with that glue bottle, because now we're going to flip this whole thing over. If I can peel it off, I'm going to put it right on top of this piece of plastic. Using the glue, put a bead of glue all over the back side. Let me tip this down so you can see what I'm doing. All the way around. I'm making little squiggles on the part that's behind the black. Extra little bit at the tip because this string is going there at the top, right in that piece, right there at the tippy top. That's going to be your hanger. If you don't want to get your fingers messy, use your tools. Ha-ha. And then your second piece of foam, now I'm going to cover up that stamp. You don't have to be so detailed, but I don't want to see a stamp on the back of my stained glass. That's going to go all around there. Glue, 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 glue. Another flippity dip. Come off that plastic, because that plastic's gluey now. Let it dry. When it dries, it's going to be shiny. And it's going to be sealed in. So just push it down there. Make sure it's sealed. All that strong glue, okay? You went around the outside and just let that dry. And then that can hang in your window and be a beautiful symbol and a reminder of baptism and of your baptism. I'll see you next time, friends. Bye.